Hi there Crafty Pals, Louise here. Thanks so much for checking out this video. I wanted to try and focus on a stash item, and when I think about what's in my stash, I just go to paper. I am a huge patterned paper lover, and I would absolutely buy more paper than I could ever possibly use just because it's pretty and I like it. So when I'm thinking about sharing a stash busting video, I sort of thought, okay, what do I need to stash bust the most? And paper was the answer. So I went to my pile of patterned papers for the 100 Pattern Paper Challenge. Now, if you haven't seen this, basically at the start of the year, you go through and you choose 100 pattern papers from your stash, and the aim is to, throughout the year, use as many of those pattern papers as you can. So you can see here, I don't even think I made it to 100. I think I went through and I probably got somewhere near 80, so I didn't even pull out 100. I did start late though, to be fair, so I think I started maybe April or May. I figured I didn't have to really keep to the 100 because I was a few months late. But anyway, this is my pile. So the idea of today's share is all about trying to use as much paper from this pile as I possibly can. So that means not mounting on white cardstock, and it means mounting photos, elements, using up bits and pieces from as many of these pattern papers as I can possibly find. Now, I thought I got a pretty good mix in terms of when I was pulling from stash. I sort my pattern papers that are full 12 by 12 sheets by color. So I don't keep them by collection. I keep them in shelves that are all sorted into color. So I basically just went through all the colors, and then once I had a pile, I went through all of my papers that are still by collection. So those are the more recent ones, whereas the ones sorted by color are kind of older. So I tried to focus on the older papers first, and this is the pile that I came up with. And just basically in 2026, I'm trying to go through and stash bust as much paper as I possibly can. Now, some of these papers were kind of gifted to me, like in scrap swaps that I've done. Some of them came with Kitaholic kits, and yeah, basically just the idea trying to bust as many papers as I possibly can. So keeping them close at hand. Like I find sometimes with stash, I put it away in a really secure location and then I don't ever get it out again. So I'm kind of a scrapper where it's got to be front of mind, and I want to make sure that in order to use something up, like this particular thickers sheet that you see me using here, it is sitting on my desk because I want to stash bust it. So, I love a thickers title, and if it is right there, I'm going to use it pretty much as I can, use it to inspire a layout, whether it be, I want to get florals out. There's some really cool strawberry embellishments on that, so I have to try and find some strawberry pictures and get that layout completed so that I can bust this. And that's why I kind of have to have it front of mind, because if I don't, then it really just doesn't get used up. And I think sometimes pattern papers are a little bit the same. So essentially keeping the papers close at hand, reaching for them every time I need to mount something so that hopefully I can by the end of the year get them busted. Now, as you can see, I am teaming it with a few little pieces from stash. So this has been really quite fun. I've actually had these photos in my printed collection for over 12 months. So back in January 2025, hubby and I went and got our first tattoos, and this is the story of his. So I apologize for all the skin and flesh on show, but luckily it's just his shoulder blade. And essentially I really liked the film strip kind of photo series. He of course took 0 photos of me getting my tattoo, so I have one of the finished product and that's it, but this is his memory, and I thought this worked out really well. I loved the very sort of neutral palette, and I wanted just to add a few of sort of grungy more elements. It didn't need a lot, so I'm just adding a little bit of sparkle black paste and some black splatters. I will go ahead and glue everything down, but you can see off camera I've popped my journaling in there there, and I've got that little sort of pocket down the bottom that I think matches in beautifully. And yeah, for something that just flowed quite naturally, all about paper inspiration, I really like how this one turned out. So I hope that you enjoyed it too, and it inspires you to bust some paper stash. As always, I thank you for watching, and happy scrapping!